The Muzychuk sisters are the second strongest sisters in the history of chess. The strongest are the Polgar sisters. I mean, they're no longer playing. So right now in the world of chess, the Muzychuk sisters from Ukraine are at the top. There is a big difference between the Muzychuk sisters and the Polgar sisters. The strength of the Polgar sisters were apart. There was a difference. But the Muzychuk sisters are very close in strength. At this point, Maria Muzychuk is the higher rated with a rating of 2511, while her sister, the older sister, Anna Muzychuk, is 2504. Now, the interesting fact is whenever these two sisters are paired against each other in tournaments, and they play a lot of tournaments together because they're almost at the same level. Whenever they paired against each other, they play a pre-arranged draw. They draw the game somehow. Like there is no fight. Now, they are both playing the FIDE World Cup 2023, Women's World Cup, and in round of 16, they were facing each other. Now, FIDE World Cup is a knockout, so somebody has to win. So, what happened when Muzychuk played Muzychuk? The first two classical games were draw, and then came the tie breaks, rapid tie breaks. In the first rapid tie break, Anna Muzychuk started with English. Maria Muzychuk played e6, and now knight c3, knight f6, and e4. By the way, this game was decided by one blunder in the endgame, and that's a study-like endgame. So let's get there. d5, a very complicated line. e5, d4, takes and takes, and now takes and queen takes f6. d4, white gets sender, e5, and knight f3. Takes, and here comes bishop g5. Seemingly a pawn sack, but after queen e6, bishop e2, if black takes one more pawn, it's mate over here. So can't do that. So bishop e7 and now takes on d4. Queen moves and bishop takes, queen takes. Castles. So white's pawn structure is damaged, but white has got open lines and more development. Black also castles, Maria castles. Anna plays bishop f3. And now knight a6 and rook e1. Queen moves and queen d3. Pawn c6, queen a3. A very nice move by Anna. Preparing rook e7, taking advantage of the undeveloped bishop. And knight c7, here Anna plays rook b1. She does not hurry with rook e7 because the knight e6 comes, trapping the rook somewhat. So rook b1 and now a6, and here comes rook e7. After knight e6, knight takes knight, bishop takes back, and here rook takes b7. Maria gets a c4 pawn, but white has got, Anna has got two nice rooks on the 7th rank. Is that enough? h3, solving the back rank problem, and now bishop d5. Takes, and queen a5. d4 and another exchange of pawns. Queen e5, an exchange of queens happens. Now this rook endgame is completely drawn, completely drawish. After rook b8, we have another exchange, and now it's a single rook endgame where everything seems equal at first sight. But white's rook is more active, and that gives white a slight edge. And now a slight edge. She gains space on the king side, g5. And now rook b5, rook a8, and now h4. So she is pushing her pawns on the king side, expanding as much as she can. Now takes, and here Maria decides to go active because if she waits, the king will just get in. And that is disastrous. She decides to go active, giving up the pawn, and now rook moves to c4. Rook check, king moves, and king g3, defending h4. Rook g4, king h3. Anna's king is forced to passivity. And now the a pawn pushes, but the rook can go behind the pawn. And that is what the mistake was. The most natural move in the position is rook a4. And apparently that's a big mistake. That changes the evaluation from equal to totally lost. So why is it lost? Why is this rook a4 move completely lost? The difference is very subtle. The point of rook b6 is after, let's say, king f3, black can just cut the king off. Black won't let the king get to this side. And at the same time, white can't really do anything with this rook. Like he can't get the rook out of this line and play a7. He'll have to give a check if he wants to get the pawn forward. But then the king just stays. And this is drawish because now rook comes behind. Once the pawn reaches 7th rank, it's a draw. as long as the king stays on g7 and h7. Why g7 and h7? If he goes to f7, then it's a lost position, because rook a6, there is this nice move rook h8. And now if you take this skewer, so the drawing idea is for the king to just stay on g7. And now if you push the pawn, it's a draw. And if you cannot get the king closer, then you will have to push the pawn. So that would be a draw. Black will just wait with his king. So that is the point of rook to b6, to cut the king off and not allowing the rook to get out. Even the move that Maria played, rook to a4, stops the rook from getting out, right? Because if the rook gets out, then it's a win. Then you just come to b, so like for example, you play a normal move like rook to c4, just rook b7, and then when you go behind a7 and rook b8 wins, right? So the rook can't get out. The move she played, rook to a4, also stops that. But now the difference is the king gets in. So Anna plays king f3, Maria plays king f8, king e3, king e8, but now the check comes. And the king cannot come to d7 or e7, because if king comes to d7, then pawn a7. And if it comes to c7, it's one tempo too late. The rook moves and the same idea happens. And you get the win. So that is why the king is forced back to f7. Now, if the pawn pushes, king g7 is a draw. So that would be not good for white. King comes closer. And now you can't play rook takes pawn, because then just pawn a7. And the king is not yet on g7. So if rook comes behind, rook h8 and white wins. Same skewer. So the pawn on h4 is not really hanging. So king g7. Now the pawn on h4 is hanging. So white plays rook check, king moves, and now king comes to c3. Again, if rook takes the pawn, the problem now is the rook will get out, and then a7 rook b8 wins. So king comes closer, again rook check, and after king f7, king b3. So Anna plays masterfully here. Rook comes behind, king b2, rook comes up, and king b3, and then she tortures her sister a little bit and then comes to c4. King to e6, and now a7. King to f5. Maria has just given up at that point. She's going towards the king side pawns. So she's ready to give up the rook now. It just lost. Rook check, king moves, and queens, rook takes. And now king takes h4. And here Anna plays a move that seals the deal. King d3, getting the king closer. And after king takes, just rook a4. And here Maria resigned. And the next round, next game, the second rapid game, 25 plus 10, was a draw. And that meant that Anna Muzychuk got into fifth round. So she's now in the round of 8, where it's going to be really competitive.